You also need to notice how you play victim. There's lots of ways that you play victim in different areas of your life. I have episodes in the past specifically about victim mentality, victim thinking, how to stop being a victim, part 1, part 2. Go check those out. Those are some old classic episodes of mine, and I'll probably be talking about it more in the future. But our mind loves to play victim, especially, for example, within relationships. You're in an intimate relationship and you get in a fight with your spouse or your partner or whatever, girlfriend, boyfriend, and of course, the name of the game in that becomes who can claim the victim status first. That's what happens in arguments. Have you noticed that? Whenever you're in an argument with somebody or maybe a family member, both sides try to say that the other side victimized them. It's like, no, you did that to me. And she'll say, no, you did that to me, or some other thing. And then we'll try to out-victim each other. And the one who can out-victim the other wins the argument, in a sense. That's the game that's being played. But see, most people engage in that game without being able to be aware of the fact that they're engaging in that game. Whereas now, when you're aware of it, you start to notice, you can actually feel how your mind is subtly trying to play up your victim status to raise yourself on this pedestal of victimhood, so that then you are justified in making certain demands. Because see, if you can put yourself on a very high victim pedestal, now you're owed something. Now the person has to be nice to you. Now they have to apologize to you. Now they have to give you a gift. Now they have to kiss you. Now they have to give you sex. Now they have to give you money, whatever it is. They give you love or attention. And that's why you play victim. See, you got to be able to see the sneakiness of these dynamics that are going on inside your mind. This takes introspection skill. You have to notice when you're whining and complaining. There my mind goes again, whining and complaining about this, about that, about not getting enough sex, about having a bad boss, about not having a good job, about the economy being bad, about how the political system is unfair, capitalism. Oh, capitalism is so bad. I can't start a business because all the elites are keeping me down, and they got their boot on my neck and all of this, and it's impossible to be successful, and this sort of stuff. Whining about how you can't meditate, complaining about how difficult it is because of the country you were born in, because of the illnesses that you have, because of how little money you have, because how shitty your parents were to you. And don't get me wrong, some of those are legitimate hurdles to overcome. I'm not trying to minimize those. I get it. Some of you have it a lot worse than others. For some of you, it's a lot harder to self-actualize and to meditate and to do consciousness work, or to earn money than it is for others. We don't all start on the same playing field, not at all. There's enormous differences in our starting positions. We all have different handicaps and limits that we're dealing with, but whining and complaining about them, this is not going to help you. And yet you keep doing it. Why are you doing it? What's the payoff for whining and complaining? See, you have to be able to feel inwards to notice what the payoff is. And that might take you a couple of years of feeling inwards and struggling to figure out, because see, when you feel inwards, it all feels so vague and fuzzy at first. You're not sure how to make sense of it. It's confusing. You don't understand. You might grasp for something, but then it's wrong. You might make wrong conclusions as you're trying to do this, but that's how you learn to surf, for example. You get on that surfboard, and the first time you get on it, you're going to spill pretty badly. You're going to wipe out because you do something stupid. You don't have that muscle memory built up for how to balance and how to navigate the waves and read the water and all this sort of stuff. And yeah, you're going to take some nasty spills the first few times that you do it. But then slowly you're going to build a sense of balance. That's exactly what it's like. Only here, it's much more difficult because you're playing this game against your own mind. Your own mind, you're trying to basically outsmart your own mind in this process. Because your mind has all these very intelligent, sophisticated survival mechanisms that are hardwired into you, these very psychological patterns and defense mechanisms, which are designed to keep you alive. And now you're starting to introspect into those, but these mechanisms are so sophisticated and sneaky because they have to be in order to keep you alive. And so now you're trying to infuse consciousness into those, and that is difficult to do. Takes time, takes effort. It's tricky at first. You might also discover stuff there that you don't quite like. That's right, because that's necessitated by survival. See, your survival, again, check out my 2-part series, Understanding Survival, Part 1 and Part 2. Very important. Your survival is not just this dumb, brute, physical activity that the body is doing. Like it's sending you a signal when you're hungry, when you're thirsty, when you're horny, when you feel unsafe. Of course, we all recognize that the body sends us these signals when you're in pain. That's the body's signal to tell you that, hey, something's wrong. Why are you sticking a knife into your finger or something? And then the pain gets you to stop doing that. So this is kind of gross, obvious stuff. But the body is so sophisticated, and the mind is the software that is running this very sophisticated body is so elaborate. It's so counterintuitive because it has to be, because your survival isn't just those basic things. For a human, survival is much more complex than just getting some food and some water and some sex and avoiding getting cut and burned and things like this. Survival involves all sorts of sneaky, abstract social games that we play, politics, getting approval, getting love, and all these sorts of factors. These are critical to survival. Yet most people don't think of these as survival. And the kind of belief systems and ideologies that we adopt, this is also all crucial to our survival. We usually don't think of them that way. We usually just think of beliefs and ideas as it's just some beliefs and just some ideas. No, your entire survival hinges upon it, the kind of beliefs and ideas that you hold and how deeply you cling to them.